Lightning McQueen spends the entire film trying to win the race. While it may seem like there are many scenes that are in there for no reason, every scene advances the plot. The first race establishes who Lightning and Chick are, and it develops their characters. The drive scene establishes Lightning's character more and how determined he is to beat Chick. The trial scene introduces Mater and Sally. Lightning trying to escape and then trying to beat Doc in a race establishes how overconfident Lightning is. The tractor tipping and drive through the wilderness scenes establish that Lightning is warming up to Mater and Sally. The scene with Doc racing around Willie's Butte on his own shows that Doc actually still enjoys racing, unlike what he told McQueen. The neon scene shows how all of the townspeople love having Lightning McQueen around. The second race is the finale where Lightning fully learns what racing is really about. There's a very clear theme of how important it is to slow down and enjoy life, and how friends are more important than fans. Once upon a time, there was a racer named Lightning McQueen. Every day he focused on beating Chick Hicks. One day he ends up in Radiator Springs by mistake and wrecks the road. Because of that, he has to stay in town and fix the road. Because of that, he realizes mainly from Mater, Sally, and Doc that there is a lot more to life than racing. Until finally he keeps racing, but does it for his friends as opposed to for his ego. There are many characters, but the only ones important to the plot are Lightning, Doc, Mater, Sally, and Chick, and there are no more prominent characters. Lightning is used to being at the top of the social hierarchy, but in Radiator Springs, he's at the bottom. The ending of the movie, where Lightning made his friends happy despite losing, only places more emphasis on the original theme. This film underwent a major script change even after the original script had not only been written, but storyboarded in color. The concept of lightning falling out of Mac's trailer was probably written in there at the last minute, as there are no alarms that go off, and it is never explained why the tuner cars did what they did, especially since street racing is many steps down from attempted murder. Most of the inspiration for this movie was simply John Lasseter's love of cars. There was little external motivation for any of the major plot points. As I explained in point 8, this movie underwent significant development before the script was completely rewritten. As I explained in point 8, the film's initial script was very different from the final script. It would definitely be easier if Lightning would simply fix the road and get out, but he doesn't do that because of his arrogance. The story could have just as easily been told with humans, as building blocks such as being a famous athlete, getting stranded in the middle of nowhere, and realizing how enjoyable it is to slow down are not unique to cars. Contrast this with Toy Story, where not being played with is a conflict unique to toys. Everything that Lightning does is highly understandable, as he has no idea how he fell out of Mac's trailer, and everything he does is something that he honestly believes will either help him get to California faster or will help him slow down and stop worrying. Even if Lightning doesn't win the race, he will still get second or third place, which is very impressive. Even if Chick lands Dinoco, that could be an entirely different story about accepting second or third place. This film was originally planned to be released in 1999, which was 7 years before the final release date. During that time, it underwent major script changes. Lightning's final test consists of sacrificing the first place spot in the race, which is what he has worked so hard for, to prove that he cares about his friends. It sure is convenient that Lightning ends up in the same town that Doc lives in, and that he kicked the can that happened to show Lightning who Doc really was. The filmmakers reused the Toy Story building block of inanimate objects coming to life due to John Lasseter's love of both toys and cars. However, as I explained in point 14, the fact that the characters are cars is irrelevant to the movie's plot. In our world, everyone is always in a constant stream of information, making it almost impossible to slow down. In fact, this is a lot more true today than it was at the time of the film's release. Therefore, this film is very relevant to everyone. A famous racer named Lightning McQueen gets stranded and arrested in a small rural town right before a big race. He is forced to stay there for a week, and in the process, he learns how important it is to slow down every so often.